Okay. Welcome back to Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation, Anime Review, episode number 21. Excuse me. Yes, it's been about a couple years, with the exception of the OVA last year, of talking about the series. If you're curious, though, I have basically read all of book 22 right now, and the anime just got to probably going to be adapting from book 7 through 12. Now, I didn't expect this episode to turn out the way it is, because I thought this was going to be the start of book 7. I thought that was going to be basically this episode. Nope, that's not the case. They refer to this episode as episode 0. You're thinking, episode 0, is this a clip show? Nope, not a clip show. And you're thinking, really? Not a clip show? Normally when anime have episode zeros, they usually a clip show recapping the previous season. Not this episode. Nope. The episode starts off with Selfie. Yes. A girl was last seen toward the end of season. I think she was last seen toward the end of the first half. She was seen briefly toward the end of the season. But last time I saw her fully was toward the end of the first half of the first season. And she just saw her briefly. And she wears the outfit she's going to wear in this episode. Basically, this episode is actually for that. And it's also for this very season. We start with her in the air with green hair. Because when she shows us later, she's got white hair. So she's in the air. And just a minute here. Okay. Okay, so we have Princess Ariel of the Ashra Kingdom. Now, this scene is what I remember from the book. It's been a couple years from the book. I do kind of remember this. Where you have Sophie arriving, she's in the air, and she's coming down, and you don't know where she's going to land. She's above the capital of this country. And then when she's already using magic, which is in the air, her hair just magically turns white, and she doesn't notice it turns white until she wakes up later. So she uses her water magic and then using her wind magic that Rudy taught her last season. So you see, like, there's like an explosion going on there. You have Princess Ariel, where she's like eating basically like a cake, basically a fruit cake with like berries on top, and she eats like one piece of it. And then all of a sudden a giant boar shows up. Yes, a giant boar rampaging, and then of course one of her subordinates, Derek, gets killed by this creature. Luke tries to basically come in. Yeah, Luke. The thing about this guy is, he is Rudy's cousin. I am not kidding about that. He is Rudy's cousin. They use a little bit later, but yeah, he's really the Rudy. Of course, Selfie doesn't know that. Just know that his name is Luke. So, she comes in, of course. She hits the boar with wind, and then she's knocked into a flower field that's nearby. And we see her there. And then she's retrieved with the princess. And she wakes up. It looks like the princess's bedroom. And she's completely naked. Now, you're probably asking, did the princess strip her naked? Why is she naked for? There is no explanation for it. It could be because basically treat her wounds, possibly. So, she threatens basically to have her punished for trespassing. This bad fact she got the accent. She says she's from the Buffa village. And of course, she mentions that the village is the homeland is gone. Yeah, basically what she's referencing here is the displacement incident that happened in episode 11 of season 1 of the show, which happened, I believe, toward the end of book 3, if I remember correctly. Yes. So, basically, she's brought on because she gives her new identity as Fitz. She's even given the glasses. Now, you're probably asking, do I have something basically to show what she looks like? Yes, I do. Yeah, I mean, I can wear her glasses, but this is the outfit right here that she's given on the cover. Yeah, that's the outfit she's given. And she wears this up until fairly recently. Now, when did she, of course, start wearing this? With this very book. So she gets this attire. She's made to the Princess Ariel's bodyguard. And then, of course, she, goes to an itinerary where she's supposed to basically mingle and meet with Lord Palamon, who is Luke's father. Yep, his father. And, of course, they go to that party after they sit breakfast. Meets the pie by me later. And then her brother shows up. Yes, her brother. I think his name is Gabriel, if I'm not mistaken. He, of course, is very suspicious. We see him later on where he's at an opera, and the guy he's with, a fellow nobleman, where he's basically having a woman with him, and it's implying that these two might be attempting to have sex at the opera, because he has basically his hand where it's like on her lower back, and it's almost to the point you could be grabbing her rear end. Yes, and because he's a noble, he could probably get away with it. So, and of course, we see that Sophie is, as Fitz, she's suffering through, goes to the party, and people saying some not nice things about her at all. They refer to her as a him, because they don't know, and she's referred to as Silent Fitz, because she doesn't speak, and she doesn't laugh. Well, for good reason, because she's a woman. Also, she wears white gloves, which, yes, if you're curious, though, she does wear the gloves in the cover of this book. Yes, she wears these gloves for a reason. Because she's got feminine hands. So, that's the reason. Now, that's the only reason I can think of that she's wearing them. They don't give an explanation why in the book she's wearing them at all. Yeah, that's something that the anime did not cut out. That was something that they just put in there because that was in the book. So, included here. So, then, of course, basically, where she, of course, she's overhearing this stuff, and of course, then she's up for a nightmare later on. And of course, Princess Air offers basically to have her sleep in her bed. Well, that proved to be a good cause, a good idea to do. She's very nervous about it. She's putting this nightie, and she gets on top of her. Wait, is the princess gonna basically have lesbian sex with Selphie? Nope. I'm not gonna do that. Not at all. So, then of course, then they just chat for a bit and we'll look for her, basically. Then they go to sleep, and they're holding hands. And then all of a sudden, Sophie, being the bodyguard that she's supposed to be, she notices there is she's an assassin in the room. And she just takes her on, throw a bunch of wind at it, and eventually she blasts through the frickin' window balcony, identified later as the Nighthawk assassin, and of course, because of this, she has to flee the capital. And of course, she kind of tries to relieve, Sophie of her duties. And by the way, only once this whole episode she's referred to by her real name, because several times she's referred to as Fitz. Only the princess referred to her as her real name. Now you're probably thinking, is it presumed that she may have told her real name off screen? Yes. We can definitely presume that. Then of course, basically then they of course they have to flee, and she chooses to stay with her. And they flee, and they go straight to the Magic University, where, of course, they're going to run into Rudius in Book 8. Yep. But yes, this was a good episode, and I did feel as though this was definitely necessary to adapt for the anime, because if they basically skip this, and they just show Fitz, as Sophie, be like, how the heck this happened? They probably would have maybe we'll adapt this as a flashback. Nope, we're doing here as episode 0, and maybe go into basically, in case you're curious about it, I'll put that visual up. Yeah. Now, for some reason, her name is Fittz, which is for some reason. I'm not sure why. Despite the fact some translations refer to it as Fitz. I don't know why. It's like they use that name for her. It's just kind of strange. Heck, the subwords are by the name Fitz. That's how they spell the name. But in the case of the way they use Fitts, which makes no sense. That's not a name. That's something that says somebody has got Fitz. Fit, that's an actual name, Fitz. So we see her here basically like, well, of course they call this the homecoming arc. Yep. That's in book 6, but basically these episodes adapted from X chapters book 3 and 4. Now, is going to be another episode airing next week? I'm not sure, actually. By the way, the X chapters are called Princess Astra and the Angel, and the other one's Guardian Fitz, which was basically another name. Well, yeah, and apparently, when I read online, apparently it took a lot of inspiration from the manga interpretation of this scene, which is interesting. But I do enjoy this episode for what it is, and, well, can't wait for the next one. My guess is presumably next week. Okay, so that's episode review. Next up is Eden Zero. Okay, next video. Bye.